I just saw Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, and it is time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Klepcx FM, brought to you by WeAreCritiX.com, a place where we talk about movies, television, and pop culture. And if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe key and that notification bell so you can be up to speed about everything that I talk about here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to talk about a film that I know a lot of you are excited to see, just like I was excited to see. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's right, the sequel to the 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which stars voice acting from Shamik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Oscar Isaacs, Issa Rae is in this, dude. Like, the cast in this is insane. Brian Tyree Henry, Jake Johnson returns as Peter Parker. We even have Jason Schwartzman, who plays a very formidable villain by the name of the Spot. That's right, the Spot is in this, man. For those of you who don't know the character, we're going to talk a little bit about it. Now, full disclaimer, there could be possible spoilers, but this is my spoiler-free review. I just dropped my full out of the theater reaction this morning from last night. But I want to do, embargo had lifted today, so now I want to give you guys a full overview of what to expect going into this film and what I thought about it. Now, there are words out there. There are things that people are saying that this is the best, if not best comic book movie, but one of the best movies or better sequels ever. Ever. That's the talk. Everyone is praising this film, and it deserves that kind of praise. But me personally, I don't think that this movie is the best anything, but it's a damn good movie. Sony, man, no holding back. It's like they squatted down and dropped their pants and took a big, huge crap all over the MCU in this film. And not saying that they drop any subs or anything like that, no subliminals or dissing or anything like that. What I'm saying is that they just nail it with the Spider-Man character and this whole multiverse thing that Lloyd and Miller wrote. It's just so clean. Like, the explanation about the multiverse and how it's brought to us in this film, it's not like overbearing, it's not overwhelming, it's very clean, it's very linear, and you just accept it, understanding it, you take it in, you digest it, and you're like, oh wow, like it really was a weight off of the brain. I'm telling you that much. A lot of people, when I compare the two to like the MCU and where it's at right now, a lot of people are like overwhelmed with the fact that they got to watch so many movies to understand this and understand that. But Sony has managed a way to just kind of take this one character, make it as big as it is, and as crazy and wild and multiversal, but still just kind of contain the story so well. It connects. It connects to the first one in a way where you wouldn't have expected it, but when it happens, you're like, oh, okay. Like, they do a really good job story wise in this film, and that's the better part of this movie that I think a lot of people are gonna walk away from like, wow, like it's a solid movie. It's just a solid flick, period. There are a lot of people asking about the surprises. There are a lot of surprises in this film, which I said in my out of the theater reaction, and I'm telling y'all are not ready for the surprises or cameos or whatever it is that you're looking for in this movie. No matter when or how you were ever introduced to the Spider-Man character, there's something for you in this movie, no matter when or how. Just remember I'm saying that. No matter when or how you were ever introduced into the character of Spider-Man, there is something in this for you. That's how much Sony knocks this movie out of the park. And the fact that a lot of us know that there is going to be a third installment to this, I'm even more excited to see things that I didn't get to see in this one. So just keep that in mind. Let's talk about some of the characters. Shamik Moore, who plays Miles Morales, is phenomenal in this film. he just brings an emotion to this character that is relatable, and the dynamic between him and his parents. It's spot on. It's just very very much what's needed in a lot of the superhero movies, is that emotion and that connection, like human connection, that a lot of these movies are lacking these days. Marvel was really good at doing that in the beginning stages of the MCU, and they've continued to do that here and there, spotty wise. But this movie here, coming from Sony, it's like they nail that a lot in this film, with the lead character. You get a little bit more Gwen and her backstory, and what's going on with her in this whole multiversal mess and craziness. So that I appreciated that, because we had all these heroes in the first one. The story primarily focused on Miles, which is not a problem ever, but it was good to see them kind of open things up and say, okay, well, while this is happening, this is what was happening, or this is how this happened, that kind of thing. So I appreciated that they gave Gwen a lot of shine in this, and it also fed into the relationship with Miles and other Spider-Man that are in this film and things of that nature. So Haley Steinfeld, she nails it. I love her voicing this character. Sometimes I don't even recognize her voice because she's so good in this character. But yeah, it's pretty good. Let's get to the new characters though. Oscar Isaac's Miguel O'Hara, which is Spider-Man 2099. For those of you who don't know about this Spider-Man, he is a futuristic version of the Spider-Man character with a totally different name. He's not Peter Parker. He is a Latino character that they had introduced at one point. A fan favorite too, by the way. A lot of people love Miguel O'Hara. He's like an Iron Man, Spider-Man, but a lot more grumpier in this film. Very seasoned, if you will. More of a an older Bruce Wayne type feel. But he knows things, and knows things about the multiverse that others don't. So he's kind of holding a burden on his shoulders in this film, and feels responsible for making things, contained, keeping things contained. Oscar Isaacs murders it with this character. A lot of emotion in this character. It was some times where I was like, is he the villain? Because he's very very emotional in this movie, and you feel his tension, and you understand where he's coming from. There's a little bit of a conflict in this. One minute you're like, I'm on Miguel's side, and the next minute you're like, nah, I'm on Miles' side, type of thing. So he brings a lot to it. Issa Rae, a little bit underused. She plays Jessica Drew, Spider Woman. For those of you who know that character, she's a little underused in this film for me. Maybe we'll get a little bit more of her. Um, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we will sometime in the future. But she was a little bit underused in this, but necessary. She plays her role well. She's funny. She has some comedic things. Not the most funniest character in this, but she plays her role the way that she should, and I appreciated her being there. But a little underused for my taste. Brian Tyree Henry, who plays Peter's dad, he comes back. He's just as funny as he was in the first one. Great chemistry between him and Shamik Moore, that father and son dynamic. Um, but yeah, the best character who is the MVP for me. A lot of people are saying Miguel's the MVP. No. My MVP in this movie is none other than Spider Punk, voiced by Daniel Kaluuya, who I need a Spider Punk movie. I need a Spider Punk solo film. Like, he is probably the most fun character, and I promise you, like, it's not even a lot, but what he brings into this character is like, yeah, I could watch an hour and a half of Spider Punk all day. If you give me a weekly cartoon of Spider Punk, I'm in. I could watch that character all day. He's awesome in it, and I hope I see a little bit more of this character in any capacity, because I think he was probably the standout, the coolest, the chillest, most laid back, but yet the most efficient. Like, a lot of these Spider-Men in this movie are like, because Miles is like the newbie, and a lot of these guys are like seasoned in their way, so they're confident in who they are, and it's just the coolest thing about a lot of these characters, is the way that they do their thing. You know what I mean? Watching them do their thing, and like, and that's why we love that character in the books. That's why, you know what I mean, when you see it. Um, I want to talk about the villain. Let's talk about the Spot. Uh, yeah, played by Jason Schwartzman. Dude, he's a I when I first heard that he was going to be the villain in this movie, I honestly kind of was just like, why the Spot? First of all, nobody really knows him, and two, he's Peter Parker's villain in the comic. He's not Miles' villain in the comic like that. He's Peter Parker's first. He was Peter Parker's villain. Um, but watching the character become, it's a little terrifying. Like, he is good as the villain, and it makes you think like, what is going to happen? Like, I'm like on the edge of my seat. Like, how are they going to beat this guy? How are they going to beat him? Like, there's just no. For those of you who don't know, the Spot, he has all these spots on his body because he is he is able to travel through portals, dimensions on his own, just in his body. Like, he could send you somewhere by just throwing one of his spots at you, or he can make spots appear, throw them on the ground and make things go through it, or sometimes just portal you from one side of the room to the other just by making you go through one of his spots. So there are times in this movie where the stakes get risen and risen and risen. And you're like, what are they gonna do? What are our heroes gonna do? So I now I'm a full on Spot the Spot fan. I think that what he's bringing to this film is fire, and I can't wait to for all of you to see, you know, this character become. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much the standout cast for me in this film. Like, it's a lot of the same old, the ones that we've seen in the other one, but for the most part, those are the standout characters in this film. I As far as my overall thoughts of this film, a lot of people are saying it's emotional. It's a lot darker. I didn't get that vibe. It just feels a little more grown up. Like, Miles is, they actually let the character grow up. Most cartoons, the character will stay the same. They change over to the next one. They look exactly the same as they did 10, 20 years ago, like, you know, until they started making cartoons grow up, like in, what is the Rugrats? But no, they allow Miles to grow up. He's a little bit older now. He's a little bit taller. So the growth of the character transitions into this film, and I think the little bit of detail that they're putting into this film uh, are what make this film. And then everything else, surprises, the cameos, all that is just the icing on the cake. This fulfilling dessert. That's what I'm gonna call this film, because it is warm on the eyes. It's beautiful. I urge you all to go see this on the biggest screen you can possibly see. Please check it out in IMAX because it is visually stunning. A lot of the artwork is like so simple yet so detailed. Like, there's this one scene, I'll give you an idea without spoiling anything. There's a scene with Gwen when she's having a conversation with her dad, and she's perfectly drawn as we see Gwen in the entire film. But the background is going with the emotion of the scene. So you see, it's almost like because it was raining outside, that the water is making the colors run. So while she's talking, the background is like like not melting, but like washing away in the water. Dude, I'm like, this is beautiful. Shout out shout out to, you know, Sony Animation, man. They are really taking steps up in this whole, not just the Spider-Verse alone. Just I can't wait to see what they do in the future with this character and more. But yeah, just to give you guys an idea what, you know, what this thing looks like, you want to see this on a nice clear image, big screen, great sound, because there's a lot of action. It's nonstop. It's a lot of fun. It's funny. Shamik Moore has great laughs in it. The father has great laughs in it. The Spot has great laughs in it. It's really a fun time. It is a step up from the original. For all of you that want to know, is it better than the first one? It's not better than the first one, but it's an awesome connection, great connection that you're not going to see coming. Um, that make this movie work, and I can't wait to see what they do with Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is the third one. That's going to be coming real soon. So yeah, that's my thoughts on you know, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I tried my best, no spoilers, guys. I hope I did okay. You guys let me know. Are you interested in seeing this? Do you care to see this? When are you going to see this? Are you going to see it this weekend? Let me know. Drop a comment below. And of course, for more movie news, television news, and pop culture, guys, check out wearecritics.com with an X. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.